A guy who's played in the NFL for a decade. He's been in a Super Bowl, had the good fortune of winning it. A multiple-time Pro Bowler, Greg Jennings, joining us on the show. I'm so glad you're here today. And by the way, your Super Bowl experience was nothing but W's, so you don't have a losing Super Bowl experience.
No.
But I will say I was listening to a radio show this weekend, and I forget who the coach was, but he was talking about he was a former coach, and he said, every time I watch a Super Bowl, the first thing I think about when it's over is that poor coach that lost. He goes, it was Joe Gibbs. Joe Gibbs was on radio, and he said, I won 3 Super Bowls, but I lost one. The hurt hurts way more than the joy. And you've played with guys like Brett Favre that lost Super Bowls, and there's almost a fear. Like, I mean, go to your Super Bowl. How long was the halo after the win where you were just high on the win?
Honestly, it didn't last long for me personally. Once the offseason starts, you kind of start turning that page all over again.
A week later?
It was longer than a week. It was definitely longer than a week. But once you start training all over again, it's like that last season that just happened is over. It's completely over. Once you start back into your training regimen and getting ready for what's to come next,
Greg,
you got to
how
throw that away.
much of your Super Bowl win was joy, and how much was we won? What was because it's so big, even like people in your family who don't love football watch, how much of it was like, we didn't embarrass ourselves, we won, we didn't lose? Because Super Bowl losers get mocked in the sports culture.
It was a good culmination of both. I think more joy than anything because you're just so filled with excitement, all these emotions that you can't really identify right away. It's like Sean McVay summed it up, even in the loss. Even in the win, you're numb. There's a numbing that is there that you can't even really express what you're feeling in that moment because you have so many different emotions taking place at the same time.
Okay, one of the actual game itself, everybody's crushing it. But again, the Super Bowl brings in my wife, a Fringe fan. I don't like Canadian football because it's all offense. I like running games. I'm okay. I thought the defensive game plans were unbelievable.
They were, but this is the way I look at it. You got people who watch football, and then you got football fans. The football fans are gonna stay tuned. You want to keep the game entertaining for the players, the fans who are just watching the game.
Right.
They're not football fans, but they're going to watch the football game.
That's why we have like musical acts at half.
When you're scoring touchdowns, that's what's going to keep everybody engaged.
Did you like the game?
I did because I'm a former player, but I'm a football fan. I looked at the game. It's more like a Floyd Mayweather fight. Honestly, it was like I pretty much knew who was going to win. Once the first quarter was over, it was like I kind of expected the Patriots to win. The battle was there. A younger Floyd Mayweather. I know I don't have a younger Patriots team, so I don't expect the knockout blow, but I don't expect them to beat themselves.
That's a really good point. They're not dynamic enough to knock you out.
No.
But they're going to point you and cut you up.
Exactly. They're not going to allow you to hit them. If you watch Tom Brady, I don't think that was his best game, but even in the way he played to almost not lose that game. I saw a lot of balls thrown low in the dirt, and it wasn't that he couldn't make those throws. I truly believe he felt like if it's just not there, my defense is playing too good. I'm not going to give them a chance to just make a play or something happen, and then I put my defense in a bad situation. They get an easy score, and now we're on our heels.
Go to the play. It's the Brandon Cooks play that you thought was the play of the game. Why?
I think so. Patrick Chung is out. They obviously had a bust in coverage. You got Brandon Cooks running down the field wide open. I thought Jared Goff saw him late.
He was in the end zone.
He was in the end zone, and Jason McCourty runs across the field to make the play, to break the ball up. At that point, I felt like had they scored that touchdown, then their defense, who's already playing lights out, can now really get after Tom Brady, and it never happened for him. If you saw right after that play, they showed Aaron Donald on the sideline, and he just was like,
that was it.
The towel over. Like he knew like that was our opportunity. it was a struggle. It was a defensive struggle. They knew they believed defensively that we have this offense under control. Huge play. Huge.
Just think if that's completed. They take a lead.
Yes.
And now, by the way, now Brady can't be as conservative.
No.
He's got to take some risks down the field.
Absolutely. And Tom Brady played, honestly, in my opinion, one of the most conservative games that he's ever played in a game like this because of the way the defenses were playing.
What did you see with Brady kind of when they scrapped their game plan in the fourth, but you had told me during the break you saw something with Brady in the third quarter?
I saw he had no answers.
For anything.
He had no answers. It was Julian Edelman or nothing. The way that Wade Phillips did such a great job of showing one thing, but it's what defenses like to call disguising. And it wasn't anything special. It was just they would show zone, go to man, show man, go to zone. And he only had one or two options, but they completely eliminated his ability to throw to his backs out of the backfield.
Which is, for the record, Brady loves throwing to his backs.
Yes, to get rid of the ball right away. Stay on time.
Especially against the Chargers, the Chiefs. Pass rush teams.
Yes.
And the Rams took it completely away.
It eliminates it almost demoralizes your pass rush. When you are trying to get back there and he just throws it to his running back right away, and he gashes you, then you have to start thinking, well, we can't really rush him because we have nobody going to the flat. We have to be able to cover this. The Rams took away that.
I've never seen it taken away.
Yes.
Ever.
And a lot of our minds were like, well, why don't they take away Julian Edelman? And I even said it. And I honestly think the way that I'm looking at it, Wade Phillips called such a great game. That was his plan. I want Tom Brady to hold on to the ball a little bit longer and try to find Edelman across the field, a little bit down the field.
You can't stop everybody.
You can't stop everyone.
So they basically said, sure, let Edelman have 10 catches, but we're not going to let your backs beat us. By the way, as a receiver, you're taller, faster. I mean, listen, Edelman is a college quarterback who I went and looked up his pre-draft analysis, and they called him gimmicky, but an interesting prospect in the Wildcat. Okay, what do you make when you watch him? What do you make of him?
I absolutely love his game. I love his, and everyone wants to talk about his route running and his catching ability. That's all great. He just understands how to get open and where he needs to be on the football field. If you watch him last night, there was so many times where he wasn't just running. He was playing with stems at the top of his route, meaning defensive backs, they're all about signals or what telltale signs of what a receiver is going to do. He was setting them up because he knew where he needed to get to on the football field and where Tom needed him to be on the football field. That is attributed to his savviness, his smarts, him playing quarterback, and him just understanding defensively what you're trying to do to take me away, but how I need to combat that.
Yeah. We're talking a lot Patriots. Let's shift now to the Rams. Joy and I talked about this last week. The reason I like New England to win, as you did, and I think your Mayweather analogy is perfect, that Floyd Mayweather early would have knocked the Rams out. Floyd Mayweather late just wins on points. That's what he became as a player.
Yes.
New England this year was Floyd Mayweather, in his 50th fight, just doesn't quite have the ability to blow you out. He just points you. But Todd Gurley was the game to me, and I said this on Twitter, and I said it last week. If I knew I was getting 18 carries from Gurley, I could pick an upset. I didn't get it. Again, I watched yesterday. Something's up.
Something is going on, and I just want to know what. I just want to know what, because to have that kind of a weapon on your sideline, and literally on your sideline, not even in the game, and everything be okay. There's something wrong.
He's not even in the passing game.
He's not. They weren't even including him. It was almost as though the Pats didn't even have to account for Todd Gurley because we're not going to even feature him. And it blows me away because when you've seen the success of the Los Angeles Rams this year, when Todd Gurley gets the ball 20 or more times,
they're 8-0.
They don't lose. So you would think. And I love Sean McVay, and I think he just flat out got out coached, and he will be able to bounce back from this. But you have to, at this point, ride your horses. You got to ride your playmakers.
You know what? Even if he wasn't healthy, it's called decoy. You got to use him.
I said this yesterday to TJ and SBLIII. I said, even him just being on the field makes a world of impact because now you have to account for him in the what ifs, the possibilities of what they can do as far as from a formation variation and offensive standpoint with him just being on the field simply. And with him not being on the field, you eliminate number one. I believe that's a huge part of why Jared Goff struggled. He has a lot of confidence when Todd Gurley is behind him.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.